Kim Jong-un's terrifying new missiles are fake and were wobbling during parade, experts claim. The weapons, unveiled during a parade marking 105 years since the state's found Kim Il-sung was born, caused fears around the world that the secretive nation's nuke program is far more advanced than previously thought. But Chad O'Carroll, managing director of Specialist Service and K-News, expressed doubts after seeing the nose cone of one of the final group of missiles wobbled quite noticeably, reports The Sunday. And Lee Illinois Woo, a senior analyst at the private Korea Defense Network, told AFP, "I suspect they all might be mock UPS aimed to impress the outside world." Meanwhile, BBC footage of the parade shows some of the rockets appear to have wonky nose cones. White House National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster said that North Korea's missile test was provocative and that the United States was working with its allies, including China, to develop a range of options. This latest missile test just fits into a pattern of provocative and destabilizing and threatening behavior on the part of the North Korean regime, Mr. McMaster said on US ABC's This Week program. Earlier it was revealed the US may have sabotaged the missile test yesterday through a cyber attack causing the rocket to spectacularly flop, according to a former British Foreign Secretary. Sir Malcolm Rifkind claims American intelligence has used cyber warfare to successfully foil missile tests before and that there is a strong belief that President Donald Trump's administration was behind North Korea's latest failed launch. Speaking with the BBC, he said, "It could have failed because the system is not competent enough to make it work, but there is a very strong belief that the US through cyber methods has been successful on several occasions in interrupting these sorts of tests and making them fail." But Sir Malcolm, who served as Foreign Secretary from 1995 to 1997 in John Major's government, did warn that despite the missile flop, North Korea remains a serious nuclear threat. He said, "But don't get too excited by that, they've also had quite a lot of successful tests. They are an advanced country when it comes to their nuclear weapons program. That still remains a fact, a hard fact." South Korea's military reported the launch attempt near the Sinpo region, the same area from which the North tested a ballistic missile last month. US officials said the missile in the test exploded on launch, but they don't know exactly what type of weapon it was. The incident is likely to escalate the rising tensions between the US and North Korea over Pyongyang's rogue nuclear weapons ambitions. North Korea has tested several missiles recently. They launched a long-range rocket and conducted 2 nuclear tests last year, including its most powerful to date, as well as carrying out a slew of shorter-range missile firings. A smirking Kim Jong-un watched a fervent military parade just hours after telling America, "We're ready for war." Chief among the devastating arsenal on show during the parade was a KN-08 rocket, thought to be capable of flying more than 7,000 miles within range of Los Angeles, New York, and Washington, D.C. U.S. military experts reacted with shock to the display, as one admitted, "We're floored right now." Dave Schmerler, a research associate at the Middlebury Institute of International Studies in California, told the Wall Street Journal, "We're totally floored right now. I was not expecting to see this many new missile designs." Also on display was the similarly devastating KN-14 rocket. Thousands of heavily armed North Koreans marched through capital Pyongyang alongside the missiles as the smiling despot lapped up the adoration of his fanatical military, many reduced to tears by his mere presence. Only hours earlier a top general had told state TV, "We're prepared to respond to an all-out war with an all-out war." North Korean military official Ko Ryong-ha said, "If the United States wages reckless provocation against us, our revolutionary power will instantly counter with an annihilating strike with our style of nuclear strike warfare." Cho's menacing words carried extra threat given many Western commentators consider him the country's second-in-command. Kim was celebrating the 105th anniversary of the birth of grandfather Kim Il-sung, the founder of the communist state. Wearing a black suit, the 33-year-old tyrant stepped out of a limousine and onto a red carpet as he arrived for the event in the capital. There, he watched thousands of fanatical soldiers goose-step through Kim Il-sung Square while intercontinental ballistic missiles shared the tarmac with tanks and assault vehicles. The saber-rattling display comes just a day after China warned that war could break out at any moment. A U.S. naval task force is on its way to the Korean peninsula in a show of force to nuclear-seeking Kim. And Trump's forces yesterday put on their own show of strength as U.S. tanks were pictured carrying out drills. The North Korean army has already threatened to pulverize the U.S. as tensions soar amid claims Kim Jong-un could hit Western targets with his missiles within 4 years. The two countries have been facing off over Pyongyang's rogue atomic ambitions in recent weeks. Kim Jong-un looks set to carry out a sixth nuclear test after satellites picked up increased activity at the Punggye-ri nuclear test site. And senior U.S. intelligence sources claim Donald Trump is prepared to launch a preemptive strike if the test goes ahead. As hostilities in the region surge, the U.S. president has sent an aircraft carrier-led strike group to the Korean peninsula in a show of strength. The North Korean People's Army has now released a statement saying Trump had entered the path of open threat and blackmail against the DPRK. Citing Washington's recent missile strike on Syria, the statement boasted that U.S. military bases in South Korea would be pulverized within a few minutes if they were to launch a similar strike against Pyongyang. The statement added, "The closer such big targets as nuclear-powered aircraft carriers come to the Korean peninsula, the greater would be the effect of merciless strikes." But talk of preemptive action against the rogue state continues to swirl as experts estimated the country would be able to hit Western targets within 4 years. Former CIA officer Dennis Wilder told ABC Kim would be able to strike at both the U.S. West Coast and Australia very soon if he was able to keep developing his missiles. He said, "Such a move would be disastrous. After all, a 10-kiloton weapon could kill 100,000 people. We believe, and American intelligence estimates say this, that the North Koreans could have such a weapon within the next 4 years.